Hey everyone, welcome to Pabbly. Let's talk about the leading website builder platform which is there on WordPress. Yes, the name here is Elementor. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 Elementor automation with Pabbly Connect. How you can integrate Elementor with different applications using Pabbly Connect. This is what we are going to see in this video. So here we have the top 5 most popular integrations as per the views that we have received on our website. So, add Elementor form responses to Google Documents. Create Stripe contact from new Elementor form submission. So you have received a form submission, you have received the details and you have created a contact in Stripe, which is a payment gateway. Create Google Calendar event for new Elementor form submission. This one is really interesting. Then we have create task in ClickUp for new Elementor form submission. Create HubSpot contact for new Elementor form submission. Basically, every time you have received the form submission, now you can create a contact, you can delete a contact, or you can just update it, etc. etc. Now, all these integrations are extremely easy and you do not need any technical expertise for the same. So, without wasting any time, let me take you to my screen where I am going to show you the step-by-step guide on how you can perform these integrations yourself. So, let's begin.
In this video, I will show you how to add Elementor form responses to Google Docs automatically. Now, you must be thinking that where this automation is useful. So, assume that you have created a form for the freelancers from where they can easily submit the content to you. So, what will happen every time the freelancer will submit the content? A document will be generated automatically into the Google Docs and the same content will be updated automatically into the Google Docs application. So, if you also want to collect your Elementor form responses in Google Docs automatically, come with me and I will show you the whole process step by step. Alright, so I have created this Elementor form and in order to collect all the responses into the Google Docs application, I'll have to build an integration in Elementor and Google Docs, and I am going to do that with the Pabbly Connect, which is an integration and automation software, and I'm an existing user of Pabbly Connect. So here you can see I am already logged in, and you can also create your free account in just 2 minutes from this sign up free button, and in the free account you will also get free tasks to test this automation. Now once you will create your account and reach to the dashboard, firstly click on this blue button that is create workflow and provide any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I have provided the name as add your form responses or content in Google Docs. Now simply click on create and then you will notice 2 boxes in front of you. Okay, so these are actually trigger and action. So here the trigger means when this happens, an action means do this. So whenever this happens, then automatically do this. Understand with an example also. Whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, let's say, then automatically send an email to the customer via Gmail application. So this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. And according to our use case, whenever the Elementor form is submitted, basically whenever any form submission is made in Elementor forms application, then automatically collect those responses into the Google Docs application. So this is how you need to select the application in this trigger and action window. So I have selected the same. Now I'm going to connect these 2 applications one by one with the Pabbly Connect. So firstly, select the trigger event. So you can also read the instructions here that this will trigger when a new form is submitted. Okay, so select this new form submission trigger event. So what will happen every time a new form submission is made into the Elementor, the details will be received via Pabbly Connect. For that, I'll have to first build the connection, and for the connection, I am going to use this webhook URL. And firstly, you will also have to read these instructions very carefully. Okay, so copy this webhook URL, then go back to your Elementor form whose responses you would like to collect into the Google Docs application. Okay, so firstly I am going to edit this form, and while editing I will paste that webhook URL inside this form only. Okay, so firstly you will have to select that form and then you will notice an option of the webhook. Okay, select that option and here you can see a webhook URL is already added. So I have deleted that webhook URL and then I am going to paste this new webhook URL URL which we have received via Pabbly Connect, and after that simply click on update, and this is how the connection in between this form and Pabbly Connect will be successful. Now in order to test whether this connection is working fine or not, I am going to make a dummy submission via this form. Okay, so here you can see it is still waiting for the webhook response. So firstly I am going to submit this form. Alright, so I have provided the name, email address and the phone number of the person, and now I am going to submit the content. Here you can see I have already prepared a nice and a small content. So the topic of the content is digital marketing importance in driving traffic. Okay, so I am going to directly copy this whole content and I will submit this content here. Click on send, and you will notice once the form submission is made, the details will be captured via Pabbly Connect, and here you can notice that it is still waiting for the webhook response. Alright, your submission was successful. Come back to Pabbly Connect and wait for the response. And here you can see the responses received. So let me show you the details one by one. So here we have the fields, that is please submit your blog or content here. So in this particular field we have captured all the content. Here we have the same phone number, the same name and the same email address. So the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between our Elementor form and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine. Now I am going to submit this form. Basically I'm going to send this form responses to my Google Docs application. So firstly you will have to select an action event, and I want that a new document should be created, and in that document the content should be updated. Okay, so which particular action event I should select here? Okay, so here you can see create a blank document. Okay, so firstly we will create a document. So simply click on connect, click on add a new connection, and then you will have to provide the access of your Google Docs. Okay, so simply click on the sign in with Google. Okay, but I have already provided this connection, so instead of going with the new connection I will go with the existing connection. In your case, if you are building this connection for the first time, you will have to go with the new connection only. Okay, here you can see it is connected. Now it is asking that what should be the document name which you are about to create. Okay, so I want the document name something like blog submission via, and here I want that the name of the person should appear. Okay, so every time the form submission is made by a person, a document will be created automatically on his name. Okay, so I'm going to map the name of the person, and mapping is very simple. I don't need to manually copy the above data and paste it here. I'm going to map from this drop down. Okay, so search for the name of the person, that is demo freelancer. Okay, so whatever the details I have provided here manually, that detail will remain same, and whatever the details I have provided with the help of mapping, that detail will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. Okay, so what will happen, the name of the person will be replaced automatically, and this blog submission via this will remain same. Okay, so here you can see a response is received. That means a document, a blank document with this particular name has been generated already. Okay, so let me check my Google Drive and refresh it. And here you can see blog submission via demo freelancer. If I will open that document in front of you, you will notice that currently this document is blank, and currently this document is created into the root folder. Okay, basically it is not added into a specific folder. Okay, just in case if you want to create the documents into a specific folder, I will also show you the process of that thing as well. Okay, so here you can see this document is blank. Now to update the responses here, I'll have to add this Google Docs application once again inside Pabbly Connect, and this time instead of selecting this create a blank document, I'll go with the append a paragraph to a document. Okay, so let me search for the Google Docs once again here. And in the action event, I'll go with this append a paragraph to a document, click on connect, and again I'll go with the existing connection only. Now it will ask you that in which particular document you would like to update the content. So here you can see a drop down is visible in which it is showing all the documents name. Well, I cannot select this document name from this drop down because I want that every time a new document should be created, and in that document the content should be updated. appended. Okay, so that is why I am going to delete this name. Okay, so for that you will have to enable this mapping button, and then you can remove the ID of that document. And here I will provide the ID. Basically I will map the ID of that document so that the ID will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. All right, so I'll have to search for that ID, basically ID of that document. And here we have the ID, that is document ID. For that it is asking that which content you would like to insert. Okay, inserted text. Okay, so simply click on this particular field, and again you will find the above data here in the drop down. So how about I first map the name of the person, and then I will press enter, and then I'm going to map the email address of the person. And how about I also map the phone number of the person, and lastly I will add the separation, and after that I will also add the content. Okay, so here we have the content. Okay, now simply click on this button save and send test request after mapping all the data, and here you can see a response is received. Let me check my document, and here you can see the responses have been added automatically inside my Google Docs. Okay, so here we have the name, the email address, and the phone number of the person, and here we have the whole content. Okay, so this is how now onwards every time someone is going to submit your Elementor forms, Pabbly Connect will instantly capture that data inside its dashboard, and then it will automatically send that data, basically update that data into Google Docs. Okay, so basically firstly it is going to create a blank document, and in that blank document we can easily update the content. Okay, just in case if you want to update this content into a specific folder, so instead of selecting the Google Docs application as the second step, you can also select the Google Drive application. Let me give you a quick brief that how you can do that. Okay, we're not going to add this step, but I'm just showing you how this process also can be done. Okay, so in the action event, firstly you can select that create a file in a specific folder. Okay, and here you can specify the name of the folder. Okay, let me show you. It will be connected, and here exactly you can specify the name of the folder, and then you can provide the file name and the file type. And once a blank file has been created into a specific folder, then you can either update the content, basically append the content by applying this Google Docs application once again. Okay, so this is the third step. Okay, I'm talking about this step. Or you can do the same process by applying the Google Drive application once again. It is completely up to you. Okay, so here you have two choices. You can perform the same task either by selecting the Google Drive application or by selecting the Google Docs application. Okay, so this is how now onwards every time someone is going to submit the content via your Elementor form submission, the details will be captured via Pabbly Connect, and it will automatically update the form submission or the content into the Google Docs application. And just in case if you want to access this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, I will also attach the link of this automation, this workflow, inside my YouTube description box. You just need to click on this link and sign up into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access this workflow, this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free.
Welcome to this tutorial on how to add Stripe customers or contacts from Elementor form submissions automatically. Guys, Stripe is a very popular payment gateway tool used by many businesses worldwide, and Elementor is a page builder plugin of WordPress. So by integrating both of these tools, you can easily collect the information of your customers and add them into Stripe automatically. And guys, you can integrate these tools without any coding just by creating a simple workflow. So I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of setting up this automation, and you can learn this automation by the end of this video. So let's begin. To set up this automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration tool, and this is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And I'm going to paste the same link in the description so that you can sign up for free from here, and you will get free automation tasks every month to test and set up your automations. So you can just sign up right now from the given link, and after that sign in and reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. From here, click on this create workflow button. Here you can give a suitable name to your workflow. So I am giving the name here as Elementor to Stripe automation. Alright, so after giving such name, you just have to click on this create button and your workflow page will load up like this. And on this page you will find these two modules, the trigger and the action. So with the help of these two things we can set up any automation. So trigger is that event which is going to kickstart this workflow, and the action would be an automated consequence or the response towards the trigger. So here in our use case, getting a form submission via Elementor is going to trigger the workflow, and the action would be to add the person who is filling the form as a customer in Stripe. So here in the trigger section, it will ask to choose your trigger application. So here you have to choose Elementor, search for Elementor. Alright. And then you have to select the trigger event as new form submission. And it will give you this webhook URL. So with the help of this, we are going to create a connection with Elementor plugin. And then we are going to capture the response of that connection. So to create this connection, you just have to open your WordPress dashboard like this. And here, this is the form. Here, let me click on edit with Elementor. And the form editor will open up. Alright, now when you click on any element of this form like this, on the left hand side panel you will see the content section, and under content section when you scroll down you will find this actions after submit option. Click on actions after submit, and here you have to search for webhooks. Just search for webhooks and add this action. Okay, so when you add this action, this webhook field will appear here in the bottom. So after that, click on this webhooks button, and here it will show you this field, the webhook URL field. Okay, so you have to paste this webhook URL that you got here from your workflow. Just copy this webhook URL and add this URL in this field like this. Okay, alright, then click on save or update button and your form will be updated, right? Alright, now let me open this page for you. And here you can see, guys, as we have copied the webhook URL from here, it started showing waiting for the webhook's response. This means now we can perform a test submission. Test submission means now we are going to manually fill the form, okay, using some sample details, and the sample details will be captured here as the test response. So with the help of that test data only, we are going to set up the automation further. Okay, so let me just open the form here and let me just fill in the details as demo as the name of the first name, and person is the last name. And after filling all the details, just click on submit, and you can see the form is getting submitted. Alright, so the form submission was successful. Here let us see in the workflow if we got the data captured, and here you can see, guys, in this response received section we have received this data, and here you will see the form name and the submission details. This is the number, this is the name, first name, last name, email address, age, everything got captured here. Now guys, with the help of these details we are going to create a customer or a contact in Stripe. For that to happen, just use this action step and connect Stripe here. And now use the action event as create a customer, then click on connect button. From here select add new connection, then here it will ask for the API key of Stripe, and you will get this key from the developer section of Stripe. So let me open the Stripe's dashboard for you. This is Stripe, guys, and I'm under test mode, you can see, and here we have this developers option in the top right corner. Click on developers. Under developers page you will find this API keys tab right here. Click on it. Under API keys you can get the key by clicking on this reveal test key button. Okay, so click on reveal key and copy this key like this and paste this key here in this field. Alright, and then click on save, and you will be connected like this. Okay, and then it will ask for the email address, description, name, phone number, and all other details to create a customer in Stripe. And we are going to use this test details that we have received here in the first step, and I'm going to map the labels I have received here from the first step to here in these fields. Okay, so just click here and the previous step will appear here in the drop down, and when you click on it you will find all the data right here. From here, map this email address label. In the description, just put form submission or anything you want, contacts. All right, here you can provide the name. So here is the name, you can see, sorry, this is the form name. Here is the first name and the last name of the person who have filled the form. So I am mapping both of these labels for mapping the full name. For the phone number, use the same process. Okay, if you have the city and address details, you can map these things here. Right now we are done. These are not compulsory fields. Now we can check the connection with Stripe by clicking on Save and Send Test Request button, and a new contact will be created here in the contacts or in the customers section. Let me just show you. Here we have this Save and Send button. Click on it. All right, this is the response we have received. Let us see in Stripe if we got a new customer added. Here, let me just refresh the customers list. And here you can see, guys, a new customer named as demo person is added here like this. Okay, so this is the same person whom I have added or mapped. You can see the email address is same, and you can see the description, form submissions, contact, and the name is also same. So this is how it is going to work, guys. So we are done setting up this automation, and you have to set up it only once. After that, you do not even have to open this workflow. It will work silently in the background, and whenever you are going to receive a form submission in real time, the real data will be transferred to Stripe and a new customer will be created there automatically. And guys, you can use this workflow as well, as I'm going to paste the link of this workflow in the description, and you can clone this workflow in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Google Calendar events for new element form submission. Now, every time there's a new form submission, and here we are talking about Elementor forms, which are a plugin of WordPress. Now, every time there's a new form submission, you want that with the data that you have received, an event should be created in Google Calendar. Now, to do that, you will have to set up some integration between the two, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here, your trigger application will be Elementor and your action application will be Google Calendar. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached a landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab, sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in, and as I do that, here we have reached another window. So this is all applications page. We are going to click on access now for Pabbly Connect. Now here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, you can see a blue tab, create workflow. Let's click on this. Now here you can give any particular name to your workflow. Since we are doing this integration between Google Calendar and Elementor form, so I'm going to name it as this. So create Google Calendar event for new Elementor form submission. So every time a new Elementor form is submitted, then automatically with the details captured, an event should be created in Google Calendar. So now I'm going to click on create. So as I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application will be Elementor form. Let's click on this. Now the trigger event. So this is the event that is going to make this workflow run, and here it would be new form submission. So once we have done that, here we have received the webhook URL. This is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect with Elementor form, and I'm going to copy this webhook. Now what do we have to do? We have to follow the instructions given in this help desk. So first of all, I'm going to take you to WordPress because Elementor form is a plugin of WordPress, and here you can see that I already have this element installed. And now I'll go to pages. So as I go to pages, here you can see a lot of pages have been created. I'm going to look for the particular form that I have created, event details. Let's go to search pages, and here you can see event details form. I'm going to click on this. You can create your own form as well. This is absolutely easy. Now here you can see that we have received the form. I'm going to click on this permalink. As I do that, you can see that this is the form that I have just created. So if I want to create an event in Google Calendar, I need this information. So this is the event name, start date, end date. Then we have start time, end time, username and location. So here first of all, we have to connect Elementor form with Pabbly Connect. For that, here it is written that go to your website and inside Elementor, edit the form you want to get integrated. So going back to WordPress, I'm going to go back, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this in incognito window. So here now you can see the edit button, this pencil icon. So I'm going to click on this, and as I do that, here we have all the fields and these can be edited now. So what we have to do is we have to go down, and here you can see actions after submit. So I'm going to click on this, and here I'm going to add an action, webhook, and here you can see a new element has appeared. Let's click on this. Now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect, and this particular URL that we had just received, I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. So once done, what we have to do is we have to click on update. So this basically means that now Pabbly Connect is connected with Elementor form, and now I'm going to go to preview changes. So as I do that, here you can see the form is right in front of us. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect, and it is saying that do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So I'm going to now fill up this form. Let's say the event name is PSB training. The start date is 29th of March. The end date is again 29th of March. Now the start time, let's say it is 12 p.m. and what is the end time? It's 1 p.m. Then we have the user email address. Remember that every time you're creating a Google Calendar event, you would be asked for this email address. So I'm going to write demo123@pabblytudes.com. Now the location, let's say it's Bhopal. I'm going to click on submit. So here you can see that the form has been sent successfully. Going back to Pabbly Connect, let's see if we have received the response, and yes, we have received the response. So here is the form name, ID, username, start time, date, location, event name, end time and end date. So once we have received this information, now my action application here would be Google Calendar. So here it is. And the action event here would be to create an event. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Calendar account. For this, I'm going to click on add new connection, sign in with Google, and here I'm going to choose the account. Once done, you can see that Pabbly Connect Calendar wants to access my Google account. So I'm going to allow the same because this is absolutely secured. And here you can see that the authorization has been successful. So once this is done, now we have to map this information. So the calendar. So since I'm using this email address for my calendar, so it has already been captured by the system. The next thing is title. So title is the name of the event. For this, I'm going to map the information. So how am I supposed to do that? As I click on this, it is showing me the previous step. And as I take you down, this here is the name of the event. Now the method with which I have added the information here is known as mapping. Mapping means that I already have this information in the previous step and I'm just going to retrieve it here. And this is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Had I written this manually, so it would have only taken PSB training even if the workflow was running for the nth time with new information. That is why to avoid that, we need mapping. Now the description. So if you want, you can add another tab in your form with description. I'm just going to enter the same information here. And then we have the location. So let's enter the location. Then we have the start time. Now the start date and time are to be mentioned together, and here we have been given a format as well. But if you can see, we have received the response and we do not have the same format. Now to change the format, I'm going to use an action application. Basically it is a feature by Pabbly which is date time formatter. Let's click on this. So the action event here would be to format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. So first of all, the date required. Now here you can see that the date is required in this format, which means year, month, date, then we have T and time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all mention the start date, then I'm going to write T, and then I'm going to mention the start time. Okay, now what is the from format? What is the format that it is in? It is in the same format. And then the to format is this. We want our date in this format. Now the from time zone here would be Asia, Kolkata. Let's click on this. Now the to time zone. So remember that every time you are creating an event on Google Calendar, so it always takes the time in UTC time zone. So I'm going to select UTC as to time zone. Now let's click on save and send test request, and as I do that, we have received the information in the desired format. Now UTC is 5.5 hours behind our actual Asia Kolkata time. Okay, so we have received the information. Now I'm going to repeat the same step. Why? Because we have to format the end time and date as well. So again I'm going to choose date time formatter, and here again format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. And I'm going to take the date. So the date end date is here. Let's write T, and again the time. So here is the time. The from format is already taken. To format here would be this, and from time zone will be Kolkata, and to time zone here would be UTC. Let's click on save and send test request, and we have received the information. Now I'm going to reconnect Google Calendar quickly by selecting the existing connection, and once done, let's mention the start date and time. For this I'm going to go to step 2, and here is the start date and time. End date and time, let's go to step 3. This is the end date and time. Now the time zone here would be UTC. So done. Then we have the guest. So here we have to map the email address of the person. So this is the email address. And now event recurrence rule. So here it is written, you can use this tool to generate the recurrence rule. Example. Now this you have to mention. If you want to create a one-time event, so you want to mention this. Now since I'm creating a one-time event, so I'm going to copy this and paste this over. So once done, let's click on save and send test request. And here you can see that our API response has been received, according to which an event must be created in my Google Calendar now. So let's go to Google Calendar, and yes, here on 29th, you can see at 12 p.m. I have PSP training, and these are the details. This basically means that our integration is a success, but we also need to check the same in real time. So I'm going to go back to the form, and here I'm going to fill up another form. Let's say the event name is again PSB training. The start date this time is 30th of March. End date is again 30th of March. Start time is 5 p.m. Then we have the end time, which is here 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Then we have the username, which is user@pabblytudes.com. And then we have the location. Let's say it's Indore. I'm going to click on submit. As soon as I do that, what should happen? Automatically an event should be created in my Google Calendar. Let's go to my Google Calendar, and here let's go to 30th, and yes, you can see PSB training has been created. So this basically means that our integration is a complete success. I'm taking you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Elementor, where the event is new form submission. Then our action application was Google Calendar, where the event was to create an event. We have used date time formatter, which is a feature by Pabbly twice, to format the start date and time and end date and time. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
how to create a task in ClickUp for new Elementor form submission automatically. So a lot of people do not want to log in into their project management software in order to create and assign the task to their team. They want that it should be automated with the help of form submission, so that whenever they submit the form, the task should be created and assigned automatically into their project management software. And in this video, I am going to create the very same automation using Elementor forms and ClickUp. So if you also want to automate the task assigning process via form submission only, come with me and I will show you the whole process step by step. So I have created this form via Elementor and embedded this form in a random page, and as soon as I am going to submit this form with the task name, the description and the due date details, you will see how the task will be created automatically into ClickUp. But before that, I'll have to build a connection in between this particular form and in between ClickUp, and I'm going to do that with the help of Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing integration and automation software via which you can easily connect multiple applications and automate your task. And you can also reach here by typing pabbly.com/connect in your browser. Okay, I will also attach this link into my description box for your reference. Now, if you are a new user of Pabbly Connect, you'll have to sign up for free, where you will also get free tasks every month in your account in order to test these kinds of amazing automation. Well, I am already an existing user of Pabbly Connect, so that is why firstly I have clicked on sign in, then I have clicked on this Pabbly Connect access now, and this is how I have reached to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Now simply click on this blue button, that is create workflow, and provide a name, any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I am pasting the name as automate the task assigning process via Elementor form. Okay, now I will click on create, and then you will find two boxes in front of you. So these are actually trigger and action. So trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So whenever this happens, do this. Understand with an example also. Let's say whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, automatically send an email via Gmail application. And according to our use case, whenever Elementor form is submitted, automatically create a task into ClickUp application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. Okay, and in this case, I'm building this automation in between Elementor forms application and in between ClickUp application. Okay, so that is why I am going to select these two applications and I'm going to connect these two applications with the Pabbly Connect. Okay, so I'm going to do the setup of ClickUp later. Firstly, I'm going to connect Elementor form with the Pabbly Connect, so that firstly we can capture the details of the form submission inside Pabbly Connect, for which firstly you'll have to select this trigger event, and after that you will find a webhook URL, and basically with the help of this URL only we are going to build a connection in between our Elementor form and in between Pabbly Connect, and you can also read these instructions for your reference. Okay, so firstly I'll take you to my Elementor form. Okay, so this is the form. I am going to edit this particular form, and here in this particular section you will find an option of actions after submit. Okay, click on that, and then you will have to select the action as the webhook. After that you will have to paste the very same webhook URL which you have just received via Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let me first copy this webhook URL and paste it here. Now I will be clicking on this update button. Okay, and this is how the connection in between Elementor form submission and Pabbly Connect is done. Now it is actually waiting for the webhook response. Okay, so you'll have to read the instructions that log into the application where you have added the webhook URL and do a test submission or record so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. Okay, so basically it is asking to do a test submission or record. Okay, so I am going to submit this particular form right in front of you, and don't worry, I'm going to make a dummy submission. Okay, and you will see how the very same details will be captured via Pabbly Connect. Okay, so coming back here, and let me provide any task name. So let's say we need to create video on Google Sheets WhatsApp integration. Okay, I am providing this particular name to my task. Okay, I want that my team should create a video on this, so that is why in the task name I have provided this particular name. The task description will be kindly create a video on this. For WhatsApp you should use interact application. Okay, interact app, and the details for the same can be found into the thread, okay. So assume that I want to assign this particular task to my team, so I have provided the description as well and the due date. So let's say I will provide I'm providing the date as the Friday, basically the 3rd of March, okay. And I want on the submission of this form the task should be created automatically, so that I do not have to even log in into this ClickUp software. The task creation process should be managed via the form submission only, basically by submitting this form, okay. Clicking on this button, create a task, and the form will be submitted. Now I will have to wait for that response, basically the form response data, okay. And here you can see the response is received immediately, because this trigger will instantly capture the new incoming data. Basically it works instantly, okay. And let me show you the details one by one. So here you can see the form name was new form, okay. Form ID is this, the task name is the same, okay. So basically I have added 3 fields inside my form, and here you can see I have the data of all those 3 fields, okay. So I have the task name, the date, and the description. Now I want to create this task into the ClickUp software, so that is why I am going to first connect ClickUp with Pabbly Connect, just like I have connected Elementor form submission with the Pabbly Connect, okay. I am choosing this create task action event, clicking on connect, then I am going to click on add a new connection. And in the API key, again, you will have to read the instructions. Log into your ClickUp account, click on the profile icon at the top left corner and go to the apps. You can find the API key. Okay. So this is my ClickUp's dashboard. This is the profile section. Here you can find the application section. And after clicking on that, you can actually find your API token from here. Simply copy this API key, coming back to Pabbly Connect, paste the same here, click on save. And this is how ClickUp will be connected with Pabbly Connect. Now, firstly, it will ask you to select the workspace, the space, the folder name, the list name, and the task name. Okay, so we are going to fill these details one by one, asking for the workspace. So I just have a single workspace only into my ClickUp, so I have selected the same. Asking for the space to be selected. So here, let me show you that how many spaces are actually available inside my ClickUp task. So here you can see I have multiple spaces. The first one is the connect, then Pabbly, then we have, okay, let me show you, then we have the modifications, junk, and space. Okay, so currently I want that all the tasks should be created inside the Pabbly workspace. Okay, so that is why I'm going to select the very same workspace, basically the space. Asking for the folder name, so again we are going to create the video. So how about I create my task into this Pabbly Connect only. Okay, basically I'm going to create all the tasks in the Pabbly Connect only. Coming back here, and let me again select the same, that is Pabbly Connect. Lastly, it is asking to select the list name. So how many lists I have inside this particular folder. Okay, so I have this integration issue. Okay, so again I am going to select the same. I think I have selected all the details. Finally, it is asking for the task name, the description, assignee ID, tags, and other details. Okay, so from where I am going to add this data, I have received this data from the previous step, and I don't even need to copy manually this data and paste it here. Okay, basically I am going to map this data here, and mapping is very simple inside Pabbly Connect. Simply click on this particular field and you will find the above data here in the drop down, and from here exactly I am going to map the task name. Okay, so I have mapped it. What is this mapping? I'll show you, I'll explain you later. Okay, asking for the description. So I have this description as kindly create a video on this. For WhatsApp, you should use, okay, the spelling is not correct, I'm sorry for that. You should use interact app, and the details for the same can be found into the thread. Okay, asking for the assignee ID. So assume that all these tasks I want to assign to the Gary Monroe only, so I will be selecting this particular assignee ID. Okay, now it is asking for the tags, the priority. Well, priority is not urgent for such type of task, so I will keep it as the normal only. And this is something important, that at what particular time this task should be finished. Okay, so it is asking to provide the due date, and the interesting thing is that it is asking to provide the date into the timestamp in milliseconds. Okay, so from where I will get this detail? Well, I already have the date, that is 2023-3-3, but this particular date is not actually into the timestamp milliseconds format. Okay, so firstly, I'll have to convert this particular date into the specified format, and then only I will be able to map this data. Okay, so before this the ClickUp step, you'll have to add one more extra step, and with the help of date and time formatter feature of Pabbly Connect, we are going to do the conversion in between dates. Okay, so select this format date with the time zone into the action event, click on connect, and it will be connected immediately. Now it will ask you to provide the date which you would like to format. Okay, so I would like to format which particular date which I have received via form submission, and what is the from format. So the current format is YYYYMMDD. Okay, so let me select the same. Here is that format, YYYYMMDD. Asking for the to format, well, I want this date into the milliseconds, so I will be selecting directly this particular format only, that is timestamp in millisecond. Asking for the from time zone and the to time zone. Okay, so from time zone is also the Asia Kolkata, so I will be selecting the same, and in the to time zone also I am going to select this Asia and Kolkata only, since I am from India, and I will be selecting the same. And finally I'll click on this button save and send test request, and you will see it will provide me the date into this timestamp format for which ClickUp is actually looking for. Okay, so scrolling down, and I am going to map this particular date and time here, but when I'll click on this particular field, this most recent data is not visible. So what I can do is I can save this particular step randomly. Okay, so that the new data will be fetched up automatically. Basically this automation has been refreshed now. Okay, let me delete this random text, and here you can see now I am able to access the above data. Let me map the due date, this new date. Okay, finally I have provided all the necessary, all the important information which are actually required for creating a task. Clicking on this button save and send test request, and wait for that task to be created automatically. And here you can see right in front of you the task has been created automatically and immediately and in real time. Let me show you the details. We need to create a video on Google Sheets and WhatsApp integration, and here you can see the date is also the same, that is Friday. Let me open that, and here you can see the date is actually the 3rd March only. Alright, and if I will click on this particular task, you will also find the description for the same, and it is the same description. Kindly create a video on this. For WhatsApp you should use okay, you should use Interact application, and here we have the assignee as the Gary Monroe and the priority as the normal. Okay, so this is how now onwards every time you are going to submit your Elementor form, the task will be created automatically inside ClickUp, and for that you'll have to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that you can sit back and relax, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. Okay, simply close Pabbly Connect, and just in case if you want to access this automation, I am also going to attach the shareable link of my workflow into the description box. Simply click on this link and sign up into the Pabbly Connect, and you will be able to access the very same workflow inside your Pabbly Connect account also, that too free. And lastly, I would like to tell you one more very important thing, that is whatever the details we have mapped here will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. So what will happen, these new details will replace the existing values because we have mapped this data. Okay, and that is why mapping plays a major role inside this automation, and with the help of mapping only this automation is going to take place.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to create HubSpot contact for new Elementor form submission. Now suppose guys, you are using Elementor form and created some kind of online form and added it into your website or shared it with your users. Now you want that whenever you receive a new form submission, a new response in that form, using the same details entered by the user, you want to create the contact, add the person as a contact in HubSpot. But guys, the manual process of getting the Elementor form submission details and creating HubSpot contact is very much repetitive and time consuming. So in this video, we will see how you can automate this process. So in this automation, the trigger will be getting a new form submission, a new response in Elementor forms. An action will be adding the contact with the same form submission details in HubSpot CRM. So how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, this is a simple form which I have created using Elementor. and I have added this form into my website. Now I want that whenever a user enters their details and submits the form, I want to add that same user as a new contact in my HubSpot CRM. And to make this happen, we have to connect our Elementor form with HubSpot. And we are going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration platform to do so. So here you can see that we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. And to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. So after coming to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Elementor to HubSpot. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, you can see two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. Now the idea here is, first, we have to connect this form which we have created using Elementor with Pabbly Connect, so that every time we receive a new form submission, a new response in this form, we will get that same form submission data in our Pabbly Connect workflow. And after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those same form submission details to HubSpot, and using those details, we are going to add that user as a new contact. So let's see how it is done. Now here in trigger window, in Choose App, search for Elementor. Just select it. And then in trigger event from the drop down, select the trigger event as new form submission. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. And using this webhook URL, we are going to connect our Elementor form with Pabbly Connect. So how it is done? Let's see. Just copy this webhook URL from here and go to the form which you have created using Elementor. So this is the form. After opening this form in edit mode, just hover on it, and at the right top corner of this form, you have this edit form button. Just click on it. After clicking on it, here on the left side, you can see different edit options over here. Out of all of this, select actions after submit, and here in add action from the drop down, select webhooks. As you select webhooks over here, you can see a new option of webhooks is added below it. Just click on it, and here in this option, you can see a field of webhook URL. Now here in this field of webhook URL, you have to paste the exact same webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Just copy it from here and then paste it over here. After pasting this, just click on Update. And yes, it is done. We have just now added this webhook URL in our Elementor form. Now every time we are going to receive a new form submission in this form, automatically that same form response will be received inside Pabbly Connect. And we are going to do the same. We are going to make a test form submission in this form. Let's click on this preview form button, and in a new tab, this form will open up in preview mode. And here we are going to enter the details of a dummy user. For example, demo user, this is the name. This is the email address of a test user. Then let's add the dummy mobile number as well. And then let's enter the city, for example, Delhi. Click on submit. So just now we have received a new form submission in this form which we have created using Elementor. And we will see as we receive this form submission, the same form submission details will also be received inside Pabbly Connect. And yes, here in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger window, you can see the same response. In this response, you can see the same first name, same last name, same email, and the same city as well, also the same mobile number. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. Now after this, we have to move to the next step. And in the next step, using these details which we have received from Elementor form submission, we have to create a contact in HubSpot CRM. And to do this, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for HubSpot. Just select it. After selecting HubSpot CRM, an action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create a Contact. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our HubSpot CRM account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Connect with HubSpot CRM button and then select your HubSpot CRM account in which you want to create the contact. Just select the account And then here we will see our HubSpot CRM account will get connected with Pabbly Connect because we have already logged into a HubSpot account in our browser over here. After connecting our HubSpot account, here you can see there are several fields of data which HubSpot is asking us. So guys, here if you have received all of these details which HubSpot has asked us, if you have received all of these details from form submission from the user, you can basically map these details in the respective fields. Right now, most of these fields are not mandatory, not required. So I'm just going to ignore these fields for now. So we will just scroll down and map the data in some important fields over here. So here you can see there's a field of status in the drop down where we are going to select active. Then after that, here you can see the field of role. So here guys, you can see in the drop down there, you can see a list of different roles which we are going to assign to these contacts. You can select the required role as well. Then after that, we'll scroll down further and here you can see some other details over here like the time zone. So you can see select the time zone of the contact which you are creating in HubSpot. So let me select my time zone over here, that is Asia, Kolkata. So let me just select it from the drop down. We'll scroll down and here it is. After selecting the time zone, we will just scroll down and we will see the fields of some basic details like the first name over here. So we have received the first name from Elementor form submission responses inside Pabbly Connect. And from that same response of trigger which we have received from Elementor, we have to map the first name over here. And the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and in the drop down below, here you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Elementor. And out of all of these responses, select the response of first name and map it over here. After mapping the first name, it is asking us some other fields and here you can see the field of last name. So just click here and from the drop down from Elementor form responses, select the response of last name. Scroll down further, map the field of email address, just click here. From the drop down, map the email address and here you can see a field of phone number. Just click here and from the drop down, map the phone number as well. Other than this, you can see there are lots and lots of fields over here. Like here you can see city. So from the drop down, we have received the city and we are going to map it too. So if you want to add these details, you just have to ask these same details in the Elementor form which you have created and added in the website. Right now, I have just created a simple form and received all of these details which I have mapped in their respective fields. And after mapping all the required details, what we have to do, we just have to scroll down and click on the save and send test request. Now, when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the details of a user which we have received from Elementor form submission, using the same details, a new contact is created in our HubSpot CRM. So let's check it. We will go to HubSpot and we'll go to the contacts page over here. And yes, guys. Here you can see that in our HubSpot CRM, just now a new contact is added. The name of this contact is demo user. Here you can see the same email address which we have entered while submitting the form in Elementor. You can see the same number and other details as well over here. This means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Elementor, automatically with the same form responses, a new contact will be created in our HubSpot CRM. So here guys, we have successfully created this automation. Now let's test this automation workflow once in real time. So once again, we will go to this form which we have created using Elementor. And we are going to make another submission over here, another test submission. For example, this time the name of the person is test user. This is the email address. And this is the mobile number, a dummy mobile number. The city is, for example, New York, and click on submit. So just now we are going to make another form submission in this form which we have created using Elementor. And after making this form submission, just now we have received a new response in Elementor forms and we will see instantly, automatically with the same form details, a new contact will be created in HubSpot CRM. So let's refresh this contacts page of HubSpot CRM over here. And yes guys, here you can see that test user, the same user whose details just now, few seconds ago we have added while submitting the form, the same user is added as a new contact in HubSpot CRM. So you can see the same name, same email address, same number and other details as well. So this means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. and we have tested this automation in real time. So not just these applications guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this exact same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestion, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.